What's going on, Raider fans? Sorry if that 6-minute video, I deleted it. For those of the 5 or 6 of you who watched it, see, the video got cut off. I had more talk and it would have cut me off, so I have to do it this way. What a win by the Raiders. Seriously, I have to eat some crow on this a little bit because I lost a lot of faith when I saw that they were up 17-7. I really did, because they were just finding ways to beat us underneath when we were playing man coverage, and they would just kind of do those curls, or even if we'd play zone, try to counter their routes. It was ugly, really, really ugly. The opening half, the opening first quarter and a half. If it weren't for that opening drive, which was beautiful, catching them off guard with some quick plays, the first half of the quarter was ugly. A lot of, I said, underneath plays. LaDainian Tomlinson lit us up on that one big play. I was thinking, oh no, LaDainian Tomlinson and Cromartie going into own us again. I'm tired of losing to them, those two specifically. It's, how annoying that's been. But yeah, the first quarter and a half was definitely not what you were hoping for. Obviously, the game, a lot of sloppiness to begin on defense. The tackling was ugly. I wasn't liking much of it. But all of a sudden they made adjustments. And one big play brought us back right into this game, gave us momentum with McFadden going 70 yards just out of nowhere. That was beautiful. It's just good to see that running speed. Run DMC run, I know it's plagiarism, but that phrase, just love saying that. Run DMC. And then after a stop, they tied it with the field goal by Janikowski, and that was clutch because it tied the game up. It was a new, gave us another second half to play. So going into the third quarter, it was kind of slow, it was sloppy, it was just kind of defensive, bunch of 3-and-outs and kind of dullness, but who knows what happens. It happens. They're just very dull and very predictable at first, but the Raiders stood firm. There was a part where I think the Jets were driving and the Raiders were able to get to Mark Sanchez, and that was the biggest key, I said, to this game, was to get to him. Because I know that he's uncomfortable. If the pass rush comes to him, I know that we could get him off his game, and it was just that. He wasn't able to make those underneath plays. The Raiders adjusted their game plan in the second half. They were smart. I got to give a lot of credit to our coaching staff for adjusting the game plan, because in the second half, Mark Sanchez was very ineffective. But yes, the Raiders, very, very key. There was that trickery. We saw a nice trick play with McFadden running. And then, of course, the run by Denarius Moore was pretty, because he was able to go in the open field, and he was able to reach the arm out for the touchdown. That was nice to look at. And then all of a sudden, right after, there's the kickoff, and you're thinking, wait, the fumble happens by Cromartie. Is this the Heidi game all over again? If you don't know what the Heidi game is, you got to look that up. It happened right in the same building. How ironic. But Cromartie fumbles, thanks to Bruce Davis knocking him, and then, of course, Taiwan Jones falls on it. Just reminds you too much of the Heidi game for those of you old-time Raider fans who lived through it or got to see it. So then McFadden gets a nice run. Bush punches it in, which I know if you're a fantasy owner for McFadden, had a great day, but could have had more if he got in there. But Bush got in instead. I'm fine with that. And then an early stop, another stop by the Raiders, another 3-and-out by the Raiders, and then Sanchez goes down the field in about 3 minutes. They score. Very soft, kind of predictable how we do that. But then the Raiders made a nice drive. They were able to get down the field enough that they were able to give Janikowski a kick. I liked the aggressive play calling when it came to the throw to Hayward Bay, trying to put the nail in the coffin, but it's okay, because we got to, of course, see Janikowski make the clutch field goal. And even when all was lost and it looked like we were driving, we were able to get Sanchez stopped on 4th and goal. And as ugly as it was, his knee was down right before the end zone, and the Raiders win by 10 points, just by the same identical score San Jose State did yesterday. How ironic, it was a perfect weekend for me. The A's took 2 out of 3 from the Angels, who suck, by the way. They also won the season series. Of course, San Jose State wins, as my bonus video showed if you didn't see that. San Jose State finally broke their losing streak. UCLA gets the win over Oregon State, which they're 1-0 in Pac-10 play. And then, of course, my soccer team, or football team, Inter. They're able to finally get their first win of the season as well. So, perfect weekend for me. I can't complain. This has been a great weekend of winning this week, in Charlie Sheen's words, of winning. And pretty happy. I can't complain with what I'm seeing. The Raiders adjusted their second half game plan. Got to give my props to the offensive line. I didn't see too many sacks, just that one fall by Campbell. They did their job containing the Jets. The pass rush, I said before, got to Sanchez in the second half. Baxter played well for the Jets at first, but then collapsed a little bit later. And Jarvis Moss, got to give my props to Jarvis Moss and Chimdi Chekwa, two guys that really were effective. Chekwa, with the exception of that touchdown he allowed, he did his job when it mattered most. Stanford route got a little aggressive with penalties. But the Raiders' receiving core, despite Jason Campbell's offensive line, it wasn't attractive stats, but they were able to force penalties on Antonio Cromartie, and it was beautiful. If there was a stat for that, we were looking very good. Hayward Bay forces penalties. He may not get the catches, but he'll still be able to get yards with penalty. Revis was guarding Hayward Bay most of the way. And what does that tell you? That basically tells you that they respect his speed and that he could be a dangerous weapon. But the other weapon, mainly Darren McFadden, huge running game, and we were able to run 200 combined yards on this Jets defense. I wouldn't say they're overrated, but they definitely were talked about a little bit too much. We finally shut up the media, finally beat LaDainian Tomlinson and Cromartie. It's been a long time. I finally personally get to beat Mark Sanchez after losing to him as a UCLA fan. It's about time I beat Mark Sanchez. And the Raiders, in the end, get the big win and finally win outside the AFC West division and even the NFC West division from last year. It's about time. They were due, and they came through when it mattered most in the second half adjustments. So props to the Raiders, coaching staff for adjusting the game plan and running the ball effectively. Campbell played smart. He got rid of the ball when he needed to, but he didn't make the big mistakes like Sanchez did, forcing that ball to Tyvon Branch. So once again, go Raiders. It's good to be 2-1, but we got a very tough test against the Patriots. Big shout out to NY Giant Pride and Gangrene. The Giants fan. I know New York is celebrating today because Buffalo is on top of the NFC East, and the Giants got their big win over the Eagles, breaking a streak as well. So watching the Jets lose puts icing on the cake for other New Yorkers who are non-Jets fans, and New Jersey people as well. So congratulations to you guys in New York and the East Coast. I'm happy to win, and I'm happy the Raiders are now 2-1. We got a tough test against the Patriots. See y'all later, and how about those Raiders? Just win, baby.